Southeast Missouri head coach Tom Matukewicz. The team coming off a loss against Robert Morris. They now have one conference loss, tied at the top of the standings of Gardner Webb and UT Martin. They will play at UT Martin this weekend. So, Coach, just some thoughts on your team, and we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, just start with giving Robert Morris credit. You know, they did what it took to come in here and win a football game. Certainly felt like we could have played a lot better. It's not from an effort standpoint, more of an execution standpoint. So we got to stop the penalties and not turn the ball over, give ourselves a better chance.
I got a couple questions to start off, Coach. First of all, you and UT Martin, this all-time series is 19-19. You're all close to each other. It's become a good rivalry. You all have played every year since 1991, except last year. The schedule was different, so it came down. You shared the league title. You all won the coin flip. Can you just sort of look back on that real quick on last year that you both were 5-0, but you didn't get the chance to play each other?
Yeah, disappointed. You know, even before the season, I texted him and wish we would have been able to play. It is a game that I always circled. When I got here and I was looking at the conference and teams and everything, I was shocked. I think he was 7-1 against SEMO before I got here, and I didn't understand how that could be. And so this is a game that I always look forward to. I judge how we are doing as a program based on the outcome of that game, and I can't wait to get down there and play. You know, certainly with our injuries and stuff, it's not the team we started with, but I still feel like you know, if we're willing to respond and care about this weekend, I think we still, at the end of the day, can make this a fourth quarter game and see if we can't pull out a victory.
You know, last year your team won the coin flip and got the AQ, but you probably didn't need it. You were going to get in either way. This year, your team, it's sort of the other foot. UT Martin probably doesn't need to win the league to get the AQ, where your team would have to end up in a tie and get it. So I don't know, is there any comparisons like how last year was different than where you are this year?
I told him I'd give him it last year. They didn't take me up on it, but yeah, because you know, at the end of the day, it didn't matter to us, you know, and obviously it's flipped. I think in the middle of this, we're just trying to play better. You know, we're not sitting there trying to think about anything other than how we could play better.
And then just one more about the rivalry. You know, teams have changed in the conference. Some people who were geographically close to you have left, but you all have shared, either one of you all has won the league, you know, 3 of the last 4 years, 4 of the last 5. So this has become maybe the rivalry in the top 2 teams. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, totally. It's always been a great game. You know, they pin their ears back and get after you, and we probably too. You know, and so you know, love how they coach them, how their players play, and so there's a lot of respect from my standpoint. Though this is not a rivalry that is bitter or you don't like those guys. I like all of them. I'm pulling for Coach Simpson. I'm pulling for him that this is the year that Southern Miss wakes up and goes hires him. So my job gets easier.
I'll let Jake ask his questions. Jake, go ahead with any questions you have for Coach too.
Morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks.
Good. So I was reading through some of these game notes here, and I noticed Gino has, I guess says you're 58 yards away from reaching 5,000 total rushing yards for his SEMO career. Just wondering, and he'd be the only player in program history to ever reach that feat. And I think on top of that, he's got, I guess he needs 170 more yards to get 1,000 for the 3rd season in a row. Just want to know what it means or what it's like to have a bell cow in the backfield like him, who consistently produces and is now going to be permanently in the record books with another 58 yards.
Yeah, you know, the farther you get away from it, the more you probably appreciate it. We've been able to have sustained winning. We've had good teams that he's been a part of, and so those guys are blocking well for him also. And so I think he would tell you that he's had some pretty good quarterbacks and some pretty good line play in front of him in those years. And so, you know, we're hoping to get him 5,000 and another 1,000. So when he's rolling, you know, so are we. So, you know, 2 guaranteed more games with him, and we'll try to appreciate him.
Yeah, I know you appreciated your seniors last week. Appreciate him. How so? Will it be after the game type of thing, or will it be try to make sure he hits this mark?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, whatever honors and awards he wins, that's not what I'm going to remember. You know, it's the personality, it's the him coming in as a young man, you know, a young kid basically, and leaving a man. Those type of things are what you know, will stick out to me more.
And coach, I think for you guys this year, it's been totally different compared to last year. I think you have 4 losses by a total of 10 points this year, and it's just been too little, too late. I think at certain times, have those losses taught your team anything about coming up short on the wrong end of these tight games?
You know, all games are really just feedback. The reason you take an exam in a class is to give you feedback about how you're doing, right? Well, a football game's just feedback, and really what this season has been a painful gift. All feedback is a gift. They're telling you how you're doing, what are things are going well or not going well, and there's a lot of pain in there. And there's things you can't control, like injuries and stuff, but then there's things you can't control, like ball security and penalties and things like that. And I'm not, you know, human nature. It's okay to be frustrated right now. It's okay to, man, I feel like just letting go and moving on to next year. Like that's what human nature will try to get us to do. And we have to fight that. You know, the lesson here is you only truly lose in life or lose a season is when it changes your character. If our failures affect the way we play the game this weekend, then that's shame on us. You know, we need to you know, do what we've done and go down there and play really well and try to have a, you know, a share of this title.
You mentioned a painful gift. How has your team dealt with that painful gift?
You know, I think we have improved things. I think we've had a lot of learning lessons. I've certainly learned a lot about when you have a team like this and some situations that I hadn't been in before. You know, it's like Paxton. You know, I think people think Paxton's overrated. And now that he's not there, I think people appreciate him a lot more. So that's the painful gift that I'm talking about, that there is a lot of pain in these losses, but it's a gift because there's lessons in there that'll last a lifetime.
Thanks, coach.
I got one more for you, coach. Then just UT Martin obviously had an exciting last second win this past weekend. What have you seen from them specific to this year, you know, that you'll have to adjust or account for when you play them this weekend?
Well, they've been able to win all those close games. You know, there's really just one they hadn't. And so that tells you a lot about their character. They're really just pretty balanced. You know, their probably identities running the ball, but they can throw it. You know, defensively, it's up front. They can rush the passer and stop the run. And so they're just a pretty good football team. They got some really good skill in the return game. They got some good run and hit guys on coverage units. And so they're just kind of hard to beat because they're pretty well-rounded. And that's why, plus they got the belief. They believe that they're going to win these tight games because they have.
Coach, appreciate your time as always. Best of luck Saturday. We'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.